don't want to say this, but just to share, I don't normally shout it out. We have some scholars in different oppressed areas.
Yep.
Every year, thousands of people migrate to other countries in search for a better life.
Each one with a story to tell of courage and determination.
Adjusting to a new country is not that easy.
Here at Migrant Tribe, we honor you.
So join us as we share our stories from our journey down under. Hello everyone, welcome to the Migrant Tribe, stories from our journey down under, episode 26. This is Joseph, and together with me are the other members of the tribe. There's a John.
Hello, good evening.
And there's a Nerwin.
Thank you. Hello.
And Joey, of course.
Hello, everyone.
And Jasmine.
Hello.
Okay, so we'll start today's discussion with a very intriguing question, and it kind of goes like this. What are you advocating for? Okay, again, what are you advocating for? So all of us, we have certain advocacies that we feel very passionate about, that we'd like to share with other people, that we'd like, hopefully that can help them out. So each one of us will be sharing our own advocacies. So to start us off, let me call in Joey.
Yes. Well, my advocacy is actually for mental health awareness. To achieve that is through multi-sport and also cycling, where I actually started focusing during lockdown. I was able to rekindle my passion in cycling, since I do cycle when I was back in the Philippines before I moved here. And also my dad is actually a cyclist, and he used to train together with Tour of Luzon
Really?
players. Yes,
Oh, wow.
my dad was able to
Was that good? Okay.
train with them. He would actually cycle from Pangasinan to Manila, so which is 200 kilometers, and I think he would do that at least every month. I think it runs to the genes. That's why. So where I'm coming from is that foundation. Shall I say? He's even his. Shall I say? He imprinted the passion of cycling and also multi-sport within me. And even being connected with different cycling groups, also internationally, not just in Australia, but also in different countries. By the way, for everyone's knowledge, there's actually an online or virtual cycling or even running right now. That you can join if you want to get into this kind of sport, even if in the areas that are in lockdown. So I'm a pure believer of getting into sport, getting into at least cycling, shall I say, would be a good start to get fit and also raise mental health awareness out there through the challenges that we can do. Because imagine, how can you even how can you even finish off a difficult let's say challenges like 200 kilometers and also with the 2,000-meter elevation without really having that good fitness level and also mental health. So that's the advocacy that I'm on.
Good. And so just curious, and since you started getting into cycling and being fit, how has that helped you in the other aspects of your life, like your personal life, your relationships, and all that? Was it helpful?
Yes, of course. I mean, I think one of the truest sports, shall I say, right, that you cannot fake it is actually cycling, because when you cycle, your body won't lie, your legs won't lie if you haven't prepared yourself enough to do a certain distance. And part of the enjoyment of cycling is also, I mean, you could get to see the world out there. I mean, Australia. To appreciate Australia is, I mean, not just by driving. I mean, I mean, people can actually drive and go to places, but just what I mean, seeing the scenery through the handlebars is way. I mean, for me, it's way better. It's a precious moment. And what else? Even in my business, the discipline that I put in to that I do in my cycling, and also the well, which I'm aiming for an Ironman event, half Ironman at this time. Um, so I'm aiming for that. So I have a target, a goal. Just like in my business, I focus on that day in, day out. At least I do a self check on where I want to go, or what my fitness, or let's say keeper KPI in terms in
Mhm.
also in my fitness and also in my business. I also consider that. So yeah, I think it aligns to it.
Good.
And anyone is interested to just speak with me. I mean, I think that's yeah.
Great, great. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. So that's Joey. Like
Thank
call
you.
in Jasmine.
Mhm.
What's your advocacy? What are you advocating for?
I guess being, first of all, minority gender woman, not anymore. So that's my
Of
first.
course
I've
not.
been, yeah, I have been a very passionate advocate of like women equality, which I do really practice a lot, especially, and I always say this, being in a male-dominated industry. That's
Mhm.
first. And like it's empowerment, especially women empowerment. And that's the
Mhm.
reason why I actually created my foundation, Empower Me Foundation, last
Yep.
year, to empower more people more than anything else, to unlock people's goals, I guess, or give way for
Mhm.
them to, be heard or have a venue. That's so huge and so vague to hear, but I know I'm aligning my value system, my business activities in
Mhm.
relation to that, and now I'm actually attending a really good series of environment as well. So, being environmental is another
Conscious. Yep.
thing.
Yep.
I know
Yep.
being in business is
Mhm.
something, and being in business that contributes to that, environment is another thing. So that's why I have to be cautious on that as well. It's not, I mean, I must admit, between the two, I really advocate more for women
Yep.
empowerment, but now I have to be also cautious with environment, be responsible in my own capacity, in my own way. I could, I guess. So yeah,
Good.
empower me, that net, that au. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll write that
Nice.
down there. It'll come out there. Okay. So yes, we've known each other, and you've been telling us about this um, advocacy of yours, empowering women, and all that. So let's see how is that able to relate? Because in your personal life, where you have actually three young girls, you have three daughters, and was it easier to get them aligned to women empowerment?
Yeah, absolutely. And they see it from a different perspective, I guess. And now they're more matured. I involve them.
Good.
Um, yeah, I don't want to say this, but just to share, I don't normally shout it out. We have some scholars in different oppressed areas,
Yep.
and they're connected with them.
Your
So
girl,
we
your three
help.
daughters. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
at
That's
least
good.
the adult, the twins, they're connected with them in a different, in an informal way. But
Mm-hmm.
at least they know, okay, so this is how it works. Okay, so how you do that, and how all the process that goes with it, and on the long term, hopefully, they see the long term result later on.
Advantages.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're just going to grow up just like their mom. Ah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thank you, Jasmine. Next, would like to share their advocacy. John,
Yeah,
you
once
ready?
again, good evening, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
As you all know, I'm into farming or into nature,
Mm-hmm.
and my advocacy released just to have this just one tree for humanity, meaning to say, if it's an every one of us plant a tree or sponsor a tree, and then the environment or the world will be a better place to live in.
Yep.
It will be cleaner, it will be cooler, and also it has a lots of multiplier effects, and you can do it straight away in the place where we are in our own backyard here at home, or maybe just on the streets surrounding us. One thing, one immediate action that I think we can do is, say for example, if in your nature strip,
Yep.
if if a tree dies,
Mm-hmm.
you may call the council to replace it, or if your neighbor nature strips tree dies as well, you can ask the council to replace it. That little thing will have a compounding effect,
Yep.
not only to beautify your place, but at the same time, it helps store carbon in the tree, which is a very, very big industry or a very, very big business right now, as I think Pin understands it well as well, about the carbon neutral, carbon uh,
Mm.
zero net 2050 as targeted by the UN.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if you cannot plant a tree by yourself, then you can sponsor a tree by naming it under yourself. Others can take care of it, and then you can have it for eternity. You may leave this world, and you can have a tree that can leave behind. So that is the most tangible thing, the most tangible contribution you can have for the well-being of the place we live in. And also, we can have heritage tree where we can also leave behind the trees under our children, or under our community, or
Mm-hmm.
we can name it we can name it under our business. And hoping forward, I can start this advocacy by planting at least one tree in my area. And yeah, and inviting you as well to be part of it in the next maybe months to come.
Plant a tree.
When am I doing
Good.
it?
So I'll plant my Christmas tree. Yes. Uh, Curious, Teen John. So what got you into this? What got you hooked on
Actually,
farming?
okay, yeah. Actually, I was born in a town of which I have a good memory in my grandparents' place. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Sort of, it is like a fairy tale place because the house of my grandparents, besides it, there was a lagoon, and there were lots of fruit-bearing trees as well. And every summer, we were there. Can you imagine? Every summer, the whole people in the area, or practically most of them, they gathered to catch the fish. And as far as I can remember, the most amount of fish that they caught that time was, I think, 3 to 4 bangkas. So bangka is a small dinghy, it's a small boat.
It's a
And
boat. Yep.
maybe
Small
by
boat.
today's standard, maybe each bangka will have maybe 100 kilos or more.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a very, very huge amount of fish for that particular lagoon, and it was shared to the community. So that was one of my childhood experiences that I cannot forget. And at the same time, um, our grandmother has a way of keeping us to stay longer in the farm because she told us once, say a jackfruit, she will tell us once the jackfruit will become ripe, then you can
Mm-hmm.
bring it home. So we waited for the jackfruit to become ripe, or the guayabano, or the star apple, or
Mm-hmm.
any fruit that we have in the farm. So rather for us to stay just for the weekend, so we ended up sometimes staying 1 week or even more because we were waiting for the reward for that particular fruit to become
For that
ripe.
fruit. Okay,
Yeah,
it's
and
good.
also because my father was an administrator with big family back home,
Mm-hmm.
maybe tract of land. Sort of when I was younger, he brought me along in the farm as well. So sort of that is where my roots I think came from. And so now I'm improving a little bit of the farm that we have back home. Me serving as a steward.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe down the track, I can share with you as well. Heaven and Earth. That's the name of the farm. So yeah, little by little, we are transforming it into a beautiful place to live, but not yet.
Thank you. Thank you.
Visit
Uh,
as well. Yeah.
so thank you, Farmer John, for that good insight, and thank you for sharing um, your background on farming. Anyone else would like to add something? Yes, Irwin. Yes, go ahead.
My advocacy, right?
Yes.
so yeah. So yeah, so I'll go for entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
So ever since when I was a child, I have my idols, right? See, so I wish I could be somebody like them in the future, but it's easier said than done. So so you have your obligation, so you have to work first to be an employee, but because the desire is there, so there I have to push myself, and even though I'm working,
Mhm.
I have to work on my dream after work, after employment. So yeah, so for me, life is too short for you not to do what you want to do. So so I encourage everyone to dive into entrepreneurship. A good thing about is that is it's never too late nor too early
Mhm.
to start your business, and you might be surprised where it going to lead you. As long as you love what you're doing, you're 50% there already.
Mhm.
So yeah, so it's a good thing to create from nothing to something.
Mhm.
It's also good. There's also a goodness in some uncertainty. So there's some excitement in there. So it's not for everyone. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. It can be messy. It can be painful at times. But yeah, if you love what you're doing, you're halfway there.
Okay. Thank you, Erwin. Um, I know. No, you've been in business for the longest time, and I think could you share us something about because this doesn't kind of apply to everyone. Not everyone is able to do this, but I know that in your business, your wife is also part. You know, she has also her role.
Yeah,
How's that worked out for you? I mean,
yeah. Yeah. So the good thing about is that she's more into the back end. So she's an accountant by profession. So as an entrepreneur, you have somebody to pull you back when you're you
yes,
know
yes,
you're
yes,
diving into much into that.
yes.
So so that happens. So it's a good balance
It's a good
actually. It's good.
balance. So
Yeah.
okay, so
So
yep,
but yes, when you have a support of your partner, it makes life easier. There are times that problems in the company that you cannot discuss it to your employees. That there's your partner to share it to, get their angles. Yeah. So and it helps you scale as well because we must admit that we are limited by,
Yes, yes.
we're only one, right? So it gives you a better point of view, and helps you scale the business or even dive into another industry. So it's easier that way. So when we have a non-life insurance agency that we turn it into digital, and then first in the Philippines, and then we created also the mall distribution channel. So we have 10 branches in SM malls. And then yeah, so from there we dive into real estate. That's we're now doing building and selling townhouses as well. So um I could have done that myself. So
Mm-hmm.
that is important, the support of your partner.
Good, good, good. That's good to hear. You're very fortunate because I know some people they kind of struggle working with their spouse, but somehow I know
Yes.
I know it's not easy, but it seems that you've been able to work it out and be successful at it. Okay, so that's it. So
Oh,
most of
if I
you,
may,
yes, yes, go ahead, Joey.
yeah, if I may, let me ask. I mean, I think that's a very good. Yeah, thank you for sharing that entrepreneurship. So, uh, probably the other thing that we would love to hear is, um, how did you flip that switch, or when was it as well? When was it, and when did you flip that switch? Are you part of a family that's already running a business, or you just started by yourself, or how did it work?
Yeah. So one of my belief in business is that you don't have to go and search around. So whatever you have it at your hand, like the non-life insurance agencies, my father started it, but I just able to scale it. And fortunately, I love the industry. So not everyone that started by your parents you love doesn't mean you love it also. So it actually just I'm fortunate that I love the industry. But switching to another industry is another story, right? From real estate. So I must admit that ever since I was young, so I know my ending. My ending is already in real estate. So I use uh, the insurance for cash flow, because in real estate you have to have a bigger capital for you to absorb some of your mistakes. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm,
sort out the cash flow first, and then slowly dive into the real estate game.
Okay, thank
wow,
you, Erwin.
awesome, thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you.
Good job.
Yeah. Um, Anyone else? No one else? I guess that's
But
it for today's episode. Okay, so all of you were able to hear some of our advocacies, what we feel very passionate about, and it's well diverse within this group. And our challenge now: what's your advocacy? What are you advocating for? Let us know. Okay, so that's
Yeah,
it for the Migrant Tribe in today's episode. See you. Bye.
I
Bye.
bye.
For today's episode, our hack, we're gonna call it the winter hack. If you're like me, I park my car on the driveway, and sometimes when it gets too cold, as soon as you wake up in the morning, there'll be ice on your windshield. Now, normally, what most people would do, they'll just get water and start pouring it for the ice to come off. But as soon as you pour water, it freezes back to ice. So what the one hack that we've able to learn was, what we do is we mix a bit of alcohol in the water, and then we put it in like a spray and start spraying it. That'll make it more difficult for ice to freeze back again.